Hi, it's David Bromley. I just want to talk to you briefly today about a subject I introduced in part 2 of the Winner's Edge video series that I call Best Trading Practice. And I want to give you a bit of perspective on why I created it and how I created it. In my trading career, the early trading career, I really struggled for a couple of years. And I think it was just my obsession with the subject that kept me going at that point. But I got lucky and I got access to some really expert and experienced traders. And I learned a huge amount. And over the next few years, I really immersed myself in the subject, and you can't help but learn a lot. But after a while, I realised that it's not really just about gaining more and more knowledge. It's about trying to put together a process that includes all the vital things, doesn't exclude anything that is really, really necessary. It's not necessarily about digging into the latest and greatest trading system or trading indicator or whatever it might be. So what I decided to do was to establish a process for myself, because I couldn't find a process. There was nowhere that this had been documented. So I figured, well, look, I've got this information, and the kind of person I am, I like to document things and I like to order things, and I wanted to develop my own trading style because I knew this was going to be important to me. So I started with everything, established the things that were really vital. And if you've tried to do something like this, you'll know that the more simple you try to make something, and the more you try and distill a mass of information, the more difficult it becomes and the longer it takes. And it took a real long time. And when I'd eventually sort of got to the point where I thought it was as simple as it could be, in some ways it sounded pretty obvious. Step 1 to find an edge, step 2 to stay in the game, step 3 to allow compound growth to deliver your fortune. It can sound pretty much straightforward, but obviously there's a lot of information there beneath that. But one of the things I find it does now for me is that every trading challenge that arises, I know fits in there. So I don't have to go back and kind of reinvent the wheel or re-educate myself on the process. And that really gives me an awful lot of confidence. And it keeps me focused. I act consistently. I don't find myself doing different things because I feel differently. And the confidence that it gives me is because I knew that it was originally built on the wisdom of giants, to put it bluntly. And the confidence that you need to continue trading a system is the absolute most important thing. So that just gives you a little bit of background on how it came about, why I think it's so important. And shortly I'm going to be following this up with going into more depth on each one of these trading elements of best trading practice. So thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it, and I'll speak to you again soon.